welcome to the Boiler Ball pregame show. Tonight we get you set for Purdue and Penn State, round 2. These two teams played early in the month of January at the Palestra in Philadelphia. What a night that was. Purdue beating the Nittany Lions, and that go around. What will happen tonight here at Mackey Arena as we welcome back both Grady Eifert and Micah Shrewsbury? Well, we'll try to tell you a little bit what we think might happen here tonight. I'm Rob Blackman. This is Chris Forman, my broadcast partner on the radio, the former Boilermaker Bobby Riddell to my right. Purdue and Penn State tonight. Purdue is 21-1, the unanimous number 1 team in the country, and Purdue is 10-1 in the Big Ten, currently leading the Big Ten standings. Penn State 14-7, 5-5 in Big Ten play. Bob Riddell, before we talk about tonight, we must talk about the Sunday win against Michigan State. An impressive win for our Boilermakers. The lead in the second half never got below 10. Purdue put Michigan State at arm's length and kept them there.
Yeah, that first half was really impressive. You go into the break up 18, get a fortunate technical foul by Tom Izzo going into the halftime break. Braden Smith's able to come out, make 2 free throws to start the second half, balloon that lead to 20. And as you pointed out, Sparty's never really got within arm's length, not getting that lead down to single digits at all in the second half. And just a tremendous performance once again by our All-American Zach Edey, 38 and 13. Just elite, game in, game out. He's an elite player, and that's been fun to watch.
Chris Forman, in the annals of Purdue basketball, a 38-13 game. That has to rank right up there.
Yeah, pretty rare. The last person to do it was Glenn Robinson back in November 1993. Dave Shieldhouse, Terry Dishner did it a few times, but they didn't have assists back then. So you had the 3 assists.
Right.
He and Glenn Robinson are the only 2 players to ever do that at Purdue. So just an absolutely dominating effort. You look at the 2 games he played against Michigan State, scored 70 total points with 30 rebounds. Scored over half of Purdue's points this year against Michigan State.
Wow. And for his efforts, no surprise, Zach was named Big Ten Player of the Week 5 times this year. Zach's been named Big Ten Player of the Week. That, too, is a number that is really putting him into some elite company.
Yeah, second in school history behind Caleb Swanigan in 2017, and then he's 4th in the Big Ten. Evan Turner is the Big Ten record holder. He was a great player at Ohio State with 7. So 5 more weeks of the season, definitely within shot for Zach to reach that mark.
Right now he's at 5. Let's see what he can do tonight against Penn State. In the first meeting against Penn State, not a bad effort, 30-13 at the Palestra. Penn State had no answer for Zach Edey in that first game.
They didn't. I mean, a lot of teams across the country have obviously shown to have no answer for Zach Edey, but some teams have certainly decided that they're going to maybe throw the kitchen sink at Zach, double and triple team him to try to take him out of the game. And there's been some games like in Nebraska here or there where Zach hasn't got a lot of shot attempts because of those teams throwing the kitchen sink at him. Well, Penn State elected not to do that in game 1, and Zach thrived. He was scoring on the block. They had a lot of success, Braden Smith and Zach, in ball screen and dive action. Zach catching a couple lobs at the rim and finishing aggressively at the iron. So Penn State had no answer, as you pointed out, with those numbers. We'll see if they adjust here tonight and maybe try to throw a different scheme at him, because Zach is showing now here game in, game out, if you single coverage him, he's going to end up with some gaudy numbers.
Now, to be fair to Penn State, Purdue, had no answer for Jalen Pickett. 26 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. He was that close to a triple-double.
Yeah, that first half by him was really special. I know you and I at halftime were like, man, I didn't feel like we played that poorly as a team, yet you're trailing at the half. And a lot of that was due to Jalen Pickett just making step-back threes, up and under, scoop, spinning layups off the glass. It was an incredible performance by him in that first half. But we did take some comfort thinking, okay, as great as he was, that feels tough to repeat in the second half. I know we had some threes rattling in and out. It felt like we were right there, and fortunately, our hunch was right. And in that second half, Pickett slowed down, and our offense came to life. But overall, Jalen Pickett had a tremendous game, close to a triple-double, and is a guy that is going to be tough to stop once again this evening.
What was huge about the second half is that Ethan Morton started jamming him, making him work and bringing up the court. And then they shut down the other guys. Andrew Funk can get on a roll. Seth Lundy, Miles Dredd. Those guys didn't do much. So if you can shut off those guys and really make Jalen Pickett work for his scores, that's probably a win for you.
If you remember, fans, Purdue trailed by 6 at halftime, but started the second half on a 19-2 scoring run and basically took that game over. One thing I find interesting about Penn State, Chris, they don't have 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 5 5 1,000-point career scorers on their roster. 5 on the same roster.
Yeah, if you include transfers from other schools that were big-time scorers at their respective schools, and then they come here to Penn State, and maybe their roles have diminished, but to have 5 players score over 1,000 career points on your roster is obviously a huge thing. You know, Andrew Funk played in the Patriot League. Elite shooter there. Shooting transfers anywhere.
Right.
Yes.
So if you can shoot at any level, you can shoot here. So just a great shooter. Jalen Pickett was at Siena before. Cam Winter was at Drexel. All great players. So Shrews has done a really good job of building that roster. The one piece they're missing right now is the big guy that would help them.
Speaking of shooting, Penn State, one of the best in our league from the three, 38.5% from the three-point line. The other thing, Bob, they do well, they don't turn it over. They're number 1 in the country at turnovers per game, 8.7. They rarely turn the ball over.
They really do. It's really eerie how similar they are to a team that Coach Painter had here in 2012 with Robbie Hummel, Lewis Jackson, and Ryan Smith as that core senior class, DJ Bird, Terrell Johnson. Another team that shot a bunch of threes, made a high percentage of them, but then never turned the basketball over. I think that team led the country in fewest turnovers per game. So it can be a recipe that can be successful. That Purdue team went to the NCAA tournament, came an eyelash away from beating the second-ranked or the second-seeded Kansas team in the second round. So this strategy certainly could be successful. They kind of remind me a little bit, Purdue fans will remember this, of a football team Purdue had in the Joe Tiller years early on, where you had a lot of the league going one direction, I formation, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, hand the football off. Joe Tiller comes in, basketball on grass, spread it out, throw it everywhere. Well, this Penn State team is kind of similar in that regard, where a lot of the Big Ten has an elite big man. They play through the post. Well, Penn State's like, we don't have an elite big man, but we're spreading out, shooting a bunch of threes, going against the grain a little bit.
And it's working for the Nittany Lions. They have not been to the NCAA tournament since 2011. But right now, the season ended now. I know it's only February 1st, but they would be in the tournament. So, Chris Forman, I want to talk just a little bit about the t-shirt you are wearing. We are wearing this for a specific reason tonight, fans. Project 44. This is the Project 44 game. Both Penn State and Purdue coaches, players, support staff, you'll see if you watch on television, will be wearing these special t-shirts tonight. The reason for these t-shirts is?
Well, I don't want to mess this up, so I have it in my game notes to make sure I get the information correct. It's for Andrew Smith, former Butler player, played on the Butler Final Four teams that came within an eyelash of the national championship. Terry Johnson, good friends with Andrew Smith. Micah Shrewsbury is friends with them. They started Foundation. If you remember, Andrew Smith died of blood cancer in 2016-ish, around there. This was launched in 2016 to raise awareness for bone marrow transplants. And all you have to do, it's set up here at the game tonight. If you're coming to the game, you get a cheek swab, and that's all you have to do to see if you are a match to donate your bone marrow for someone to save a life. And the chances of a match, they're slim. It's about 1 in 1,400 people. So their goal is to save 44 lives with a cheek swab. They need, I think I read, about 52,000 samples to get the 44 lives. So it's obviously for a great cause. Andrew Smith was a great person, a great player. Meant a lot to a lot of these people here. So if you can come out, get your cheek swab, hopefully save a life with it.
52,000 may sound like a lot, but if everyone tonight got a cheek swab, we'd already have over 14,000 and well on our way. So something to think about.
Sorry, the website for more information is project44.org. Just go there. It explains everything. It's a really good website. Just explains Andrew's story and the drive that they're on to help save lives.
All right, in closing here, Bob Riddell. First meeting against Penn State, they had no answer, the Nittany Lions, for Zach Edey. Also, Purdue was able to limit the three-point shooting of Penn State. Are those the two keys again tonight?
I think so. I have a feeling Penn State is going to defend Zach differently. I think they saw that movie and they may not run it back. So I think Purdue is going to have to make some shots from the perimeter to make Penn State pay if they overload on Zach Edey. And then, of course, as you mentioned, controlling Penn State shooting. If you let them go crazy from the three-point line, it's the ultimate equalizer in basketball. You got to stop them. You can't let them get early open looks in the game to get their confidence going. So how does Purdue defend the three-point line will be critical.
And Micah Shrewsbury and Grady Eifert, both back here tonight. Fans, let's go easy on those guys. They were very instrumental to us
Still want to
they
make
were
some
here.
noise, though.
Make some
Make noise, get loud.
Just
but-
nothing over the line. Don't cross the line with Grady or Micah. Remember, at one point, they were great. Not good, great Boilermakers. And we were happy to have them here at Purdue. We just hope they don't have a great night tonight. That's all. After tonight, they get a great rest of the season. For Chris and for Bobby, I'm Rob Blackman. Thank you so much for joining us on our Boiler Ball pregame show. Have a great night, everyone. You can hear Bob and I on the radio at 5:30 with a pregame show 6:30 for the tip. Purdue and Penn State. So long for now. Have a great rest of your week, everyone, and Boiler up.